Okay, in this segment we just want to do a quick rundown of of what we think the hopes are in the Caulfield Cup, which will be run on Saturday, so we won't get a chance to preview the race before then. So we'll take that opportunity now. Also the running of the 1,000 Guineas on Wednesday at Caulfield, so we want to cover that as well just briefly and give you our thoughts on those. Mate, you take off on this.
Alright, well for the Caulfield Cup, I've been a fan of Latorio the whole way through, so I see no reason to jump off now. He's very well handicapped for the race. I think he's got 52.5 kilos. He meets most of the horses he's been beating better at the weights, so I think he's right there. I guess the only thing is if he wins it, he gets a penalty for the Melbourne Cup. I'm sure Connections wouldn't be concerned with that. They'd be happy to win either of the races, so I think he's entitled to be favourite for the race, and I think he'll be winning it. Master O'Reilly is the hardest to beat. He's last year's winner. He showed a return to form last week. I'm sure Danny O'Brien is peaking him for this one race because we know that he doesn't stay the 2 miles of the Melbourne Cup, so they'll be putting all his eggs in the basket to win on Saturday. Master O'Reilly, the hardest to beat. I think those two will fight it out. And my roughie for that race is Riva Sand. She's a filly that was one of the better 3-year-old staying fillies of last season. She's had slightly indifferent form this time in, and some believe she's just a wet tracker. But I think with no weight, 4-year-old mares have a great record in the Caulfield Cup. I think she'll run a very cheeky race, and I think that'll be the trifecta. So for me, it's Latorio, Master O'Reilly, and Riva Sand.
Your thoughts on it, Jen?
I agree that Latorio has to be an enormous chance in the Caulfield Cup. I think just off his winning the Turnbull Stakes, coming back to that sort of weight in the Caulfield Cup, he'll only be further suited by the extra 400 metres. He just needs to draw a barrier to be, I guess, probably the hardest to beat in the field. I think the other horse that is exceptionally well weighted, as I said in my review of the Yolumbo, is Guillotine. I think he only needs to settle in his race to be an enormous chance in that race. They're the two that I think should go on to fight out the finish. I can see a horse like a Master O'Reilly certainly filling a place. I don't think he can win this year, just given, I guess at the end of the day, his win in the Caulfield Cup was probably against a weaker field. You know, the favourite was scratched as well at the barriers before the race. And you know, I have to make a special mention of the bloke that I've got a pre-post ticket sitting at home on, Weekend Hustler.
I thought you forgot me, mate.
It's confetti now.
Yeah, it might well be, but look, I'll still line up if he wins, that's for sure. But look, it's probably, you know, it's fair to say that it'd be very hard for him to win a race like that. You know, I think, you know, the distance is certainly going to be an issue, but even more so the weight against some of these horses. It's just going to be a massive task for him, and I wish they kept him at home and just leave him for the Cox Plate, and they may well do so. If he draws a bad barrier, the word is he'll be scratched. So that's my take on the Caulfield.
McDonald was pretty adamant they're going to go around.
If he draws a bad barrier, he'll be scratched.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Inside Marley?
No, it's in the media. That's what he said.
Oh, really?
He said we'll scratch him.
Tongue tied him as well.
Yep, tongue tied.
On a trainer?
They said that.
On the horse.
Oh, sorry, okay. Alright, that may make a difference. I don't know. But maybe it's on. Anyway. Okay, was that it?
That's my
right, okay. Again, as the boys said, I think we're all on the same page here. Latoria and Guillotine. They're the two weighted horses in the race. You know, they're just ticking along beautifully. Geez, they're going to be hard to beat. Of the other horses, I thought I'm going to stick solid with Nom de Jeu. Look, he's got 54 kilos, which is a bit of a disadvantage compared to Guillotine and Latoria, but you know, 2400 is proven now. I think he's a solid horse. I think he's going terrifically well in New Zealand, and I think he'll make the transition no problem. Master O'Reilly's. Like his last start effort was enormous, so we can't discount him, although he is carrying 55 kilos. A sneaky one here, like I don't know, with everything we've said with the horses and what Williams is doing with his, the Sailor Gurr, he keeps on finding himself in these acceptances and third acceptances.
Yeah.
And
if he runs, it's a big chance.
If he runs, he's a massive.
Yeah, that's the only thing. They keep on saying he's not running, but he may do. You don't know. And after his effort yesterday, I'd be inclined to say that he's a chance of running. You know,
if he runs, you can put him ahead of Nom de Jeu.
No, I agree. I agree. But the thing is he running? He's got 54 kilos, which isn't so bad. You know, it's not like he's going 57 or anything.
He's an open if he runs.
And apart from that, I've always been a fan of Red Ruler, but I'm not sure if he's going to run 2400 metres as strongly as some of the others. And I guess we should make mention of Damien Oliver's mount, Mad Rush. He's the only he's the only overseas. Well, it's Luca Kamani's.
American bred horse.
American bred horse, you're right.
They're comparing it to Purple Moon, aren't they? They're saying they can draw a lot of comparisons between the two, and if it runs up to
Yeah,
Purple
tell you
Moon,
one thing, they're very switched on that.
They are
very switched
on.
I won't bring a hack over here.
So I had a look at his form the other day, and one thing that impressed me about him, although like all these stays, they've run over 3,000 metres. I found that he's won twice over 2,000. So
he's got the speed.
Yeah, he's got some speed also. So he may be a nice horse. And Damien's no mug.
yeah, for sure.
He's taken a ride. So
1,000 guineas. We forgot to say 1,000 guineas.
1,000 guineas. I like the Sydney horses in that. I'm going to be backing Portillo and Camilzi. I think that they've got a very strong form line through Samantha Miss. If Samantha Miss is as good as or as good as I think she is, then you have to have some opinion of Portillo, because she hasn't been beaten by too far.
100%.
And I think that the Melbourne bunch, in my opinion, that they're a fairly moderate group this year. So a lot's going to depend on barriers and whatnot at Caulfield, but I like Portillo to beat Romnea. And I'd probably, I'm not really sure about third, I'd probably put in Mick Price's Reduced Choice filly, Gallica that ran a good race. She looks like she's improving. That'd probably be my trifecta: Portillo to beat Camilzi and Gallica.
Look, I think certainly the point's well made there by Suman about the Sydney fillies having that great form coming across with that. I'm going to play the percentages though, and just stick with the girl from Melbourne, who I think will perhaps handle the Caulfield better than what maybe the Sydney fillies might do first time. It remains to be seen. They may well handle it as if it was Randwick, who knows. But I'll play the percentages and stick with Romnea, who I also have a bit of a pre-post ticket on it at $10. So rubbing the hands there and hoping she can get home. I think her run was a lot better than what it looked like last start. So anyone who was on her, I'd encourage to stick with her, at least give her this one more chance, because I do think she won't have an issue with the mile. I think it was a poor ride last start, and drawing a barrier at Caulfield, hopefully this time mid next week, she should be a leading hope, and certainly the Sydney girls to go close and certainly be filling the placings.
Yeah, I feel as though the boys have actually covered the chances in the race. I really don't see too much else in the race, except I will make mention of a horse that will probably be double figures and warrants having in your trifectas, and I do also feel as though she hasn't been that well ridden either. She may be ridden closer this time, hopefully, if she draws a barrier, and that 3-year-old filly is Oval Affair. I do have a liking for her. I maybe feel as though she may be looking for longer now, but if they go run on quickly, you find her. Yeah, they did yesterday at Caulfield. They could run on from behind, and if they go quick, she may run home over the top of them. So, but I think the boys have covered the most chances, chances in the race.
Hopefully, you have a win, and there's been some disparaging reports about your attire, and maybe you might be able to buy a new jacket from Lowe's. To replace the stuff you've been wearing from St Vincent's.
Lowe's will be a marked increase in style.
Look, I've made some phone calls. I'm hiring a stylist and a PR person, so hopefully things will improve for you viewers out there. I may even get a haircut, who knows? So, well, we'll see. But
I think a balaclava would suit you.
Really? Thank you.
Typical head for radio.
Once again, look, I hope it's been informative and entertaining. So we hope we found you guys some winners.
Thank you.
Thank you.